Hi, so I thought I'd hop on here and explain a little bit about what exactly light language is. So I've been channeling light language since about 2020, and I realized today I never actually stopped to explain what light language is. And I've been sharing it on YouTube and Facebook, and I realized a lot of people might not know what the heck light language is. And there is a lot of fear around light language because people don't know what it is. It's quite an intense energy, and they're like, oh God, I don't really want to touch that, and they're kind of scared of it. Or some people see it as quote unquote speaking in tongues, and that's bad. And there's there's a lot of fear around this particular modality, and even I have my own fears around it. It's one of my gifts that I absolutely love, and it's very, very special to me, but I have a lot of fear around using it in public. So I thought I'd come on here and address some of that and just explain what light language is. Why would you want to use it? What are the benefits? Um, Even why is it here at this time? Um, so light language to me is the language of energy, and it's a very pure expression of energy, and it has a very, very high vibration. So I also channel Reiki, and I absolutely love Reiki, but the energy to me of Reiki is close to the energy of the body. It's maybe not as intense, and it's more soft and gentle. Whereas light language, well, I mean, it depends who is channeling it. That makes a huge difference. But I find light language to be a little bit harsher, and it really also depends who is channeling light language and what exactly they're channeling. So light language is very diverse as an energy, and it's hard to put it into one little um, bubble, let's say. And it's going to depend on what you're channeling. So you can channel any kind of being that you want to in light language, and you can also channel your higher self, your own heart, your own emotions. So the way that I see light language is there's an aspect of it that is channeling higher realms or lower realms, if you want to go to the Fey realm or inner earth or whatever you want. It's kind of like being in a candy shop, and you can take whatever candy you want, and you have all the money in the world. So you can take as much as you want, whatever you want, whenever you want. So you do have to be careful sometimes too, because it's a lot of energy and a lot of potential. But yeah, so there's like that channeling aspect, and then there's also the expression aspect. So you can also channel your own emotions. So one of the things that I love to do is if I'm feeling an emotion and I don't really know how to release it, sometimes I'm even scared to admit what it is, or I don't know how to put words to it. I don't know what to do with it. Sometimes I will channel it in light language, and then that kind of opens up the energy for me to see it. Like sometimes you can feel something, but you don't know how to say it. You don't know what to do with it, but the energy is there, and light language allows you to release that out. Yeah, so I thought I'd do a little bit of, I guess, a demonstration of light language, and I wanted to show a little bit different energies that you can experience, and then I'll talk about each one and things to look for. Yeah, because it is such a diverse energy. I think I'll start with expressing an emotion in light language. So what that was, yeah, and one thing that's important to say is that when it comes to light language, it's not like a direct translation. So it's sounds that have a particular vibration to them, but it's not English. So it's not like a word like "Pakorul." You don't translate and be like, that means Jimmy went to the bus. It's not that kind of translation. It's more of an energetic translation. So it's an energy and it contains a lot of messages, and a ton of information, actually, but it's not a direct translation. So each person can listen to what I just channeled and receive something different. Be like, I think Sarah is feeling this. I think Sarah's feeling that. And they might see different aspects of it. And one of the reasons for that is that each person receives light language based on where they are. And even you, that's why it's good to listen more than once, because you change day by day. So every time you listen to a light language recording, you're going to have a different experience and you're going to receive something different. And often it works in layers as well. So the light language will target the first layer or the part of you that most needs healing first, and then when that's cleared, it can go to a next part. So each time you listen to codes, you receive something new and fresh, and because we change every day, we're a new person when we receive them. So you can get a new message from light language every single time that you listen to it, and you can always bring that healing deeper. And I do always recommend listening to light language more than once, because that's when you fully integrate it. When you listen to it once, your energy sometimes is like, what is this? I don't know what to do with it. And you might receive it, you might not. And then the more you get familiar with it, the more you feel comfortable with it, and the more you can receive it at a deeper level. Because light language is going to first target any spot where there's barriers. And the emotion that I just channeled, for me, it came from the heart, and I feel like it had the energy of heartbreak and releasing some of that energy. And what I'm feeling right now is a little bit of fear, because I'm kind of nervous to explain these things. And I thought that was going to come through. It wasn't. It was feelings in my heart. So sometimes the light language, it's a combination of you directing the energy in the light language, and also being open and allowing the light language to come through. So with light language, half the time I set a clear intention and I'm like, I want light language to help with my migraines or to heal a particular thing that's going on with me. And then I ask for light codes to help with that particular thing. And then the other half of the time, I just kind of feel light language coming to me, and I channel it out, and I'm like, I don't know what this is, and I'll find out later. And often when that happens, the light language has a message for me, and I'll channel it through, and then I'm like, oh, here's a new insight. Cool, that's fun. So it's kind of the energy comes to you and you go to it as well. And one of the reasons why light language is so powerful is you're going to do whatever you want with it. So energy is always going to follow intention. And you can tell the light language to do whatever you want to, basically. If it's I don't like the word should, but I recommend it being in love and light. And so how I channel light language often is I have a particular intention. I want to heal a particular thing, and I'm like, can I have light codes to help me with this issue? And then I often connect to a guide who I think will help with that particular issue, or sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just let my higher self go for it. And then I receive codes for that particular issue. And you can also ask for light language from any being that you want to, as long as you have that relationship with them built already. And most guys are like, oh yeah, I get to do light language. They're all excited and such. And then so that was a demonstration of channeling an emotion. Now I want to show another version of light language, which is more so channeling a being. And sometimes this energy it depends who you're channeling. So if you're channeling something from the Fey realm, for example, or a more earthly energy, or like a tree spirit, something like that, it might be more grounded energy, more earthly energy. It might bring you into your body a little bit more, connect you to earth, and it can still be very, very powerful, but it's not gonna bring you out of your body. Because sometimes what I've noticed with, say, a galactic being is the energy is very, very, very high frequency. It's very intense, and sometimes your body has trouble receiving it. It's hard to, it's such powerful energy that your body's like, oh my God. So light language, it can, depending on how you do it, it can connect you with your body if it's very grounded energies. And sometimes if it's very high vibration, it can be hard to ground and your energy gets a little bit off kilter. So that's why it is important when you receive light language to discern the energy if your body actually needs it. I recommend always tuning in with your body and saying, do I want this? Do I not want this? I don't know. It's up to you. But also so that's always good to do, but also your higher self plays an important role. Your higher self usually, well, not usually, they always know what you need. So your higher self will discern whether or not that energy is good for you, and it'll bring in the codes that you need and project the ones that you don't. And with light language, sovereignty is everything. So let's say someone's channeling light language and you don't want it, don't accept it. Say no, and then you're not going to receive it. No one can force you to receive light language. It's all in love and light, and no one can force you. So sometimes light language is for you, sometimes it just isn't, and that's fine. And each person's light language is very different. So one person's light language will be like, oh my God, this is amazing, I love this. And one person will be like, no, thank you. So I always recommend discerning. That is super important. And when it comes to light language, you can channel anything you want to. So grounding and protection is essential. I always put a barrier around me and I'm like, only love and light. Because it is something where someone can channel a being that's less than love and light. You could do that, it happens. And I don't want anyone to be necessarily afraid of that. Often you're able to detect that kind of energy and your higher self will protect you. And if you don't discern and you receive that, usually there's some sort of message, there's some sort of experience or lesson that you're meant to experience. So even if you do end up in, oh my God, someone sent dark energy to me, don't worry. You can, one, release that energy, and two, you probably were meant to learn something from that experience. So, I mean, it might be a very uncomfortable and very not fun and very terrifying experience that can absolutely happen, but I don't recommend being afraid. It's usually always meant to teach you to learn, and you can clear that energy. You're powerful. And in this journey, I think all of us are meant to screw up again and again, and then we learn, okay, this is what love and light is. Interesting. This is maybe a little bit much nicer. But yeah, but with this modality, it is very important to always protect yourself and ground yourself. So sometimes the practitioner at the beginning of a video is going to do that for you. Sometimes they won't. So before listening, I always recommend to take a minute to drop into your heart space and feel into your body. And be present and be like, do I want to receive this? Yes or no? And actually ask yourself that question. Don't just assume that it's a yes, but really feel, what's yes for me? And that kind of, it brings you to the moment. And then when you do have that full yes, you'll be able to receive the energy at a much deeper and fuller level, because there is a lot of resistance around to this energy, because it is a very, very powerful energy. It's very special and I love it a lot. But it's intense and it can actually be quite a lot on the body. So it always is good also to set the intention of how much of the light language I want. Maybe you want a little bit of it. Maybe you don't. As kind of, it's a form of medicine, as is the way that I see it. And how much, like, let's say if you're thinking about medication, you're not going to take 10 pills in one moment. You want just one or two or half a pill. So the dosage for each person is going to be different based on what your needs, what are you trying to heal, how much are you ready to heal right now. So I was recommending receiving exactly what you need, and you can set that intention for yourself. This is what I want in this moment, and nothing more, nothing less, because I have a tendency to take too much when it comes to healing and stuff, and it's not really in my best good. Yeah. So I wanted to do a transmission of a being. Let's start with Mother Kuan Yin, because she's my girl and I love her. So as I mentioned, take a minute to take a deep breath. Put your hands on your heart space, maybe your stomach, whichever part of your body that you feel is going to tell you what you need to know right now. Which is, do I want to receive this energy, yes or no? Bring all pieces, parts, and aspects of you to this time and this physical space. And tune into yourself and ask, would I like to receive this transmission? And if not, you can just say no in your head and you won't receive it, and that's awesome. And if it's a hell yeah, get ready. Asking that Mother Kuan Yin share love with anybody who's listening to this video at this time. I've been having trouble with my microphone lately, so I hope that sound actually registered. If it didn't, you can still receive the energy even if it's silent. I hope it I hope it went through, but we'll see. Yeah, so what that energy was I'm feeling it mostly in my heart space, so I feel like it was, at first I was going to say clearing, and then I heard filling, so it's meant to fill up your heart space with a ton of love. I feel like that's clearing, but it's also because when you start to feel love, you feel safe, and you kind of feel safe to crack open, and it kind of flows through, and it kind of cracks open those space where you're like, yeah, it fills them up with love. And I also encourage you to take a moment now and just think, how did that make me feel? Did I see anything, feel anything? And asking how do you feel, it brings the onus back on you to decide what it means. Because there is no absolute of what light language means. It's a message for your soul, and only your soul can tell you what that's about, what it's for, what it's meant to do. So that's a bit of an explanation. And just some of the benefits of light language. One of the biggest benefits for me has been, I just love it. It has the energy of remembrance. For me, when I first heard it, like, it felt like being reminded of my soul family, and it has that energy of like, I know this, and I don't know how I know this or where I know this from, but I know it and I love it. And for a lot of people, it feels like home. It feels like a part of you that you forgot, but that it feels essential and core to who you are, if that's your thing. But yeah, it's a lot of remembering the energy of your soul and connecting to your own self and your past and your history and maybe even your future in some cases. And the benefits are endless because you tell the light language what to do. So anything that you want to feel, you can ask the light language to help you with. It can help you connect to your guides and have that relationship, and it can help you speak to your guides. And it's one of those things where you don't have to force it, and the more that you use it, the more it flows easily, the more you understand it, the more it just flows for you. Yeah, and the possibilities with it are completely endless. And just last night, I used it to heal some blockages that I've had in my throat for a very long time. And I think that that's one of the reasons why I'm able to be here today and speak to you. Because I've been afraid to, like, I'm not afraid to channel light language, but sometimes I'm afraid to speak with my actual voice. So it helped me to be okay with saying things that are maybe controversial for some people, or not. So thank you for watching this video, and feel free to pop in the comments any questions you have. I absolutely love light language, so any questions you have, I'd be extremely happy and excited to answer them for you. Yeah, so thank you so much for listening, and I'm wishing you an amazing day.